Welcome, affiliated listeners, to another episode of our Monday Minutes. This is your host, Kyle Kostecka, and today I'm going to be talking about something I think we commonly hear people ask us, especially if they're starting out, or even if you've already been doing something and you're looking to go into a new traffic source, which is what traffic source is right for me. Oftentimes, finding the right traffic source could be like dating in the 2020s. It's miserable, and it feels like everything's wrong, and you think celibacy might be the option for you. Fret not. This is a very common thing, and it's common because, honestly, traffic sources are hard. It's hard to pick the right one. It's hard to know which one your offer fits for. But what I would tell you is don't think of a traffic source, but think about the way you want to talk and have a conversation with your audience when it comes to selling and what traffic channel fits that conversation. So a good example, one of the things that I always like to tell people too is like when you're looking at YouTube, a lot of people go, well, I got to go on YouTube. I have video. Let's go on YouTube. And they just run whatever they're running on Facebook or email. And they say, let's go throw that on YouTube. And then it fails. And they spend a lot of money and they go, well, YouTube's stupid. I don't know. It doesn't work for me or my business. It might not be, but it might also be that you didn't really understand why anyone was on YouTube and you're not talking to your audience appropriately. So for example, people go on YouTube primarily for two reasons. You're going to be informed or you're going to be entertained. It's very different than Facebook. You intentionally go to YouTube. Facebook, I'm on the toilet and I'm trying to kill time. I'm just muting my brain until the next thing that gets my attention. It's a scroll-based attention grab. YouTube is not that. It's much more intent focused, and I'm coming in with some sort of objective, and then I'm letting YouTube drive me into whatever wormhole that I want to go into. Already you could see where that could really change your marketing, right? So if my product is very flashy, it's not a curiosity information-based thing. It's something that's like GIFs and Impulse and Flash, right? That's going to maybe do a little bit better on your display mediums or, Facebook. If I'm already doing that type of marketing, go to those places. Go where scroll and attention are going to be more your game. Maybe it's a lot of UGC. That's a really good, and for those that don't know, that's user-generated content. That works a lot better on your Facebook and Instagram. You might be doing Reels or TikTok. But if you want to do native and you want to do YouTube, you understand that those are places where people are going to be informed or entertained. I need to adjust the marketing for that. So when it comes to picking the right channel, the first thing I would tell you is first understand how your marketing and how the actual individuals engage with that channel. The next thing that does matter is budget. Different channels do, I would say, support different budgets. So one of the big ones are you need to understand how the traffic channel works. So for example, YouTube and native in general, native traffic tend to be very broad audiences and broader targeting. It's not going to be as targeted when you start out. So it tends to be a little bit more expensive on the front end. You accept losses for learnings until you get a scale campaign that can be consistent and get really good ROI. If you're going to be like, hey, I have to have really low daily minimums, I don't have a lot of cash and float, those channels might not be right for you. You want to go with something that's going to be able to be a little bit more precise, a little bit more targeted. Now, I believe TikTok might be one of those sources. This is something out of ignorance. I don't know for sure, but I do know they collect more data points than any other social platform out there. They might have better targeting, similar to what you've experienced with Facebook in the past before iOS. Facebook in general still does have ways, if you want to keep your budget small and be more targeted, it's a lot better to have small budgets and slowly grow every single day than something like a YouTube or a native. And, if you get into other stuff with, Google and Performance Max Pro, those could be really budget friendly as well. But that could dictate what traffic source makes sense for you. Also, the last thing I'd say is where your offer is at right now could dictate what traffic source you have. You might wonder, I mentioned earlier how you're talking to them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying like where your offer is in terms of the numbers and the optimization. So if I already know that I'm going to be converting within this range and I could pay this number to acquire a customer, I know what my CPA is. I'm like, I could pay $50 and I know that $50 is going to turn into $100 because of my backend and everything we do after the purchase. Well, that really changes the way I could go out and buy media. And it changes what media or traffic channels I have access to. A good example here is doing paid email drops. I was able to talk to an expert in this, and oftentimes that's something that is really expensive up front, and you might lose money on day one. But it's because if you have a really dialed in back end, you understand that you're paying $50 today and maybe losing money, but you're making $100 later. So we want to print that and keep doing that. But if you don't have your numbers in place and you don't really know what your backend looks like, you need to get day one ROI or day one margin. And if that doesn't fit on that traffic source, it's probably not going to be the right one for you. So in recap and summation, know the conversation you want to have, and is that a conversation you can have on that traffic channel? You need to understand, essentially the cost of the channel. Does it fit for your budget right now? And then finally, are your numbers in line to actually support whatever traffic channel you're going into? If you can answer those three, I think you'll be at least in a better spot to pick the right traffic source for you, so you spend less time wasting money and being frustrated and more time scaling your business exactly the way you hope to. Until next time, guys, have a great week, and I'll talk to you then.